Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at my special filming spot location because guess what? My good friend Corey over at Coders, specifically Coders Lutz, has brought out another one of the shop's builds. And it's this car right here. This is that Mk5 Toyota GR Supra, obviously taken to another level. But before we dive in to this bright orange and black Mk5 Supra, let's talk about what's going on here. So everybody knows when it comes to the Toyota Supra, many people gravitate towards the Mk4. And I remember I was at the Detroit Auto Show all the way back in 2019 when they launched the new GR Supra. And it's fascinating because a lot of people were upset. They felt like it wasn't 100% Toyota. They thought it was more BMW. I think since then, people have gotten over it, and I hope so, because guess what? If you want a Mk5 Supra, at least a brand new one, the days are literally counting down because the 2026 model year is the final year of the Mk5. Now, what's great is that the Supra, like the Mk4, is really wide open to personalization. Maybe even more so than it was originally back in 1993 when the Mk4 launched. Now, of course, with the Fast and Furious franchise and all of the modifications that are done to vehicles and companies that produce mods, we see more and more people wanting to take it to another level. So what I want to find out is, if you're looking for a Mk5, do you want to make yours look like this particular one that Corey brought out from Coders of Lutz? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this car and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, I'm digging the color situation. Being wrapped, obviously one of those things that they do over at Coders. Nice to see how they brought the orange, and it kind of brings some of that Fast and the Furious flavor to it from the original Fast and Furious. But with the black, it cuts the orange down just enough to where it's not too loud. At the front of the business, you're gonna see some stock appearance, but with a little bit of a different touch. You'll notice the color changing. We have it right now in purple, color changing LED lighting for those daytime running lamps, your LED headlights. Working your way down, one of the biggest changes that you see a lot of people do with Mk5s is they change out that lower splitter. And this piece that's been put on this particular Mk5, full carbon fiber. Love the way it's got the dive planes that curve up on the edges. And then you'll notice how it's a nice stack system. So not only is it handling the lower splitter portion, but also covering more a little bit with carbon fiber as you move towards the lower venting. Now, as we come across the nose, looking at this car, you see some of that interpretation from the concept that was very, very popular before they launched the car, especially in the center here. Love all of that carbon fiber and how it integrates so cleanly, because you have the carbon fiber, but then you also have some black with a little bit of that orange that makes it kind of balance out nicely. Even the way they did the black stripe on the nose just follows the body lines. It's like they didn't try to force, over at Coders, they didn't try to force the design. They let it flow with the actual body. And I can appreciate that, especially on the nose here. And like I said, this particular portion really mimics the concept car that Toyota was sort of flaunting around a few years before they actually launched the car. But let me know what you think about the face of this Mk5 Supra with that beautiful carbon fiber bodywork. Now, as we rise up, nice carbon fiber Toyota badge there with that black, goes all the way towards the A-pillars. And then as we come around the bend, very interesting look and touch to the wheels. So what you're gonna find, these are actually the stock Toyota GR Supra wheels, but you'll notice that they've been hydro dipped with carbon fiber. It actually makes it look like a carbon fiber wheel. I mean, the pattern design is very, very specific to carbon fiber, and sometimes it's hit or miss. Sometimes there's companies that use a pattern of carbon fiber where it just automatically looks fake. This, that coaters wound up using, looks spot on the money. Another thing that I'm digging is the matching calipers. So we got those bright orange, sun-kissed orange calipers with the Supra badge on them. Of course, from the factory, what are we working with when it comes to wheel and tires? So what you're gonna notice is 19-inch wheel in diameter. Tires up front are gonna be 255 on the width, 35 series sidewall, and we have those more track focus Continental extreme contact tires to give us that grip. Rotors up front are around 14 inches in diameter, and of course, Toyota does their own suspension tuning. Now, with this particular vehicle, right now it's riding on an air ride suspension. But stay tuned, because we will be doing a part 2 to this car where there's gonna be some changing done to the car. One of those areas will be the removal of the air ride suspension and some other work that's gonna be done. So stay tuned for that one. Coming down the side, I'm gonna have Steven swing around. You can see how we got some of that carbon fiber around the fake vent there. Still bothers me it's a fake vent, and that's one of the things that kind of breaks my heart is that would be a perfect functional heat extractor, but Toyota did a lot of parts that were blocked off. Now technically you could cut out the openings and make them functional, but it's easier said than done. Let's just put it that way. You're looking at the A-pillars, love the carbon fiber pieces, not too much, just a nice balanced look. And then of course on those very aero sculpted side mirrors, having that extra piece there from the carbon fiber looks absolutely fantastic. Now, one of my favorite things that Coaters has done with this car that kind of takes away one of my zonks is right here on the doors. So you'll notice the addition of the carbon fiber piece with your little bit of aero, but what that does is it fills in the gap nicely where there's that massive fake vent here. And it kind of kills the clean lines of the car. This, now everything flows nicely down the side of the vehicle, the carbon fiber on the door handles, and then working our way down, just like up front. I love the aggressive carbon fiber side skirt, especially with the aero kick up to help get that air past the rear fenders of this vehicle. Now, as we continue down the side, just like up front, you got 19-inch wheels out back, and we do have those orange calipers out back with the hydroform, the carbon fiber hydroform design on the wheels. Tires out back, it's a little bit more rubber to meet the road. 275 on the width, because remember, this is a rear-wheel drive car, and we have that limited slip differential that's gonna help get power to the ground. As we move towards the rear, always love the flared fender on these Mk5s. Really, really sexy look. You got the smoking out here of the reflector. You'll notice some of the carbon fiber additional work that fills in that fake vent on the back, and even the way that they did the side skirt at the back and it flows into that rear diffuser. I think that's what I like about these pieces, is that they're not a bunch of separate pieces of bodywork. It's all nice and unison, one piece. Of course, one of the things some people were upset about was it didn't have the large basket handle wing like the Mark IV. As you can see, they went ahead over at Coaters and put that carbon fiber basket style handle on the rear of the vehicle, and you're still gonna get that ducktail kick up underneath. And then just like up front, having that carbon fiber touch on the badging, even the Supra name there, and then dropping it like it's hot, because it's freaking hot out here, you have these massive, large opening of the exhaust. It's a Valvetronic exhaust, so you could adjust the sound. One tip on each side with that beautiful carbon fiber rear diffuser, and check out that Formula One style lighting effect in the center for your reverse light and everything else. But it's just one of those vehicles that if you look at all the small touches, Coaters has gone and take it to the next level. Even the GR badge, by having that carbon fiber touch with the orange. And that's one of the things that I can appreciate that they do, is all of the fine details. That's what they're all about. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what this Supra is all about. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Underneath the hood is that straight six turbocharged engine. What are we talking about? It's a 3-liter straight six single turbocharged engine. On this one from Coders, what are you looking at? You're getting an ECU unlock. They got an MHD tune, an active AutoWorks downpipe, and you'll also notice the intakes, how they adjusted and went with the MST performance intake there to help kind of get a little bit more balanced performance. Now, of course, stock, you're looking around 382 horsepower, definitely has more horsepower than stock. Wait to another review to see what some of these hard numbers are, but it is bolted to the ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. Of course, on newer Mark 5s, you can get a 6-speed manual still if you want. Even though it's the final year, 2026 model year, you still can get your choice. But when this one was built back in 21, 8-speed automatic was your one and only transmission option. But why don't we go ahead, enough chit chat about this engine, why don't we fire it up and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this Coders GR Supra with some tasteful mods. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I love this Supra. I want one just like this particular one. I want to have Coders do it up. How much is it? Well, if you're going to buy brand new, MSRP is going to be right around $61,000 for a GR Supra. If you buy pre-owned, then you kind of open up the spectrum. So it's all up to what you want to do. And then, of course, the mods on top of it would add to the price. But it's all whether you want to go mild or wild. And I really like this particular one because it's a nice compromise. But let's see what the interior is like in a GR Supra. To the door panels. I like the clean style. No gloss black all over the place. You got your JBL sound system. A little bit of metallic black around the switchgear, but nothing too crazy. And then you have a door pocket that's large enough for one cheeseburger from Mickey D's. That's it. Now going from the door panel to the dash, the soft touch, the stitching, you have your 8.8-inch infotainment system. It is that BMW inspired infotainment system. Let's be honest, it's right out of a BMW. Working your way down, you got your silver start stop button, you got your real volume knob, dual climate control, which is really nice to see, heated seats, wireless charging. This is going to control that ZF 8-speed automatic. Love the way the stock Supra has carbon fiber in the center. And then, yeah, you got two cup holders. But what I want to show you is this. Here is a Coders replica of the Supra that we're in. So this is the special touch that Coders love to do, especially when they bring their car to car events and show it off. They always like to have the smaller scale version as well. And speaking of scale, you have these seats perfectly scaled for a human body, leather, bolstering, power assist for the passenger, power assist for the driver. There are no sunroofs in a Mark 5 Supra, not even a Target top. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel in this Supra. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your aluminum sill plate with the Toyota Supra badge there. Pedal box, nice aluminum brake pedal, throttle. And then with these custom floor mats with the orange stitching, it covers up the dead pedal nicely. So you got full protection. Seats are great. The one thing to just be aware of is the GR Supra compared to the Nissan Z, it's a little harder to get in and out of. And when you're in, you feel more in a closed-in situation. I'm okay with it, but I know some people it's not their favorite. Steering wheel, the leather, the stitching looks good. I just got to zonk the horn button. It's absolutely hideous. Worst horn button on a Supra I've ever seen. You do have paddles to go up and down the ZF 8-speed automatic, and then you have that digital gauge cluster with your tachometer nicely displayed there in the center, and you have a head-up display. There is a trunk. You could put stuff back there, but what I want to do is, I don't want to show you the trunk. What I want to show you, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in this GR Supra. All right, guys, we are in this Coder's GR Supra with some very, very nice, tasteful mods that I think many people will want to do themselves. And like I said, one of the things right away is I love how you sit in this car. You're in it, you're not on it. And that really helps lower the center of gravity, and it allows you to really feel like you're one with the car. But of course, we got to go on throttle. So if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. That ZF 8-speed doing its thing. Nice and balanced. And that sound is really nice. Especially when you get those pops and bangs out the back. Right there. Fast shifts. Woo! Yeah! What I love about this build is not only does it look good, but it makes you feel good because you're getting plenty of grip at all four corners of the Supra. Communication is wonderful through the wheel, very balanced. And then having those extra pieces of flair, so to speak, the pops and the bangs, just kind of brings the whole environment to a new level. And the fact that you could take this to your local Cars and Coffee event, have people drool all over her, and then you could go to the racetrack, you could go do a track day, you could go do whatever you want, you could do with this car. And those are the types of cars that I tend to gravitate towards because it's, yeah, you want it to look good, but you also want to be able to drive it and enjoy it. Seats, the stock seats hold you in great. Of course, if you ever want to change those seats, there's a plethora of different options out there. I really feel once you get inside of one of these, you'll see that there's plenty of visibility out the front. It's not as bad as what some people make it out to be. And even though this one has the ZF 8-speed, it's a great transmission. I mean, fast downshifts, fast upshifts. But it really just allows you to kind of bring some of your own personality into it. So you don't like the orange? Coder's has other colors of wraps. They can do all sorts of stuff. So you really can bring your own flavor into this vehicle. Love the sound. That's worth the price of admission. You ready? On throttle, here we go. Nice brakes, looking good, feeling good. Really just well sorted. And I love the fact that you look up in the rearview mirror and you see a little bit of that spoiler out the back, and it's not really blocking your vision. And if it did, oh well. I mean, it's a compromise, right? You can't have it all. And then I love looking out over the hood and you have the bright orange right on the peaks of the fenders, and then everything else that's sinister black. So it's nice to have those orange visual reference points as you're going through your favorite twisty road. And another thing that I kind of like about the GR Supra since day one is I love the fact that the dash is simple and straightforward. You got your 2 different modes. You don't need 53 different modes. It's got just the right amount of information, and that's it. All right, guys, second gear, on throttle, on the brakes. Like I said, the shifting, you're not gonna outshift this ZF 8-speed. The only thing with the manual is that if you want a more engaging drive. And yes, Supra, Toyota has said that the Supra has specific gear ratios separate than what the BMW has. So just to know that you are gonna have a very unique driving experience if you do go with the manual Supra. All right, guys, been another bang up day with a local friend and also company owner, Corey from Coders, specifically Coders Lutz, with this Mk5 modded Supra. One thing I want to show you is we went ahead and lowered the vehicle with that air ride suspension. So this is in its extreme low position for when you go to your local Cars and Coffee event. Maybe there's a Supra meetup in your neck of the woods, and that's where you could get that extreme style of it having it be very low to the ground. But definitely, like I said, I want to thank Corey and everybody at Coders for doing their hard work in the business with this Mk5. Let me know what you think. If you were going to park a Mk5 in your garage, do you want to be like this one and have this one sitting in there like Coders does? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rice family. Got to give it up to Stephen Flood. He loves these cars. He loves the different flavor that we're bringing here at Raised Rides, and he definitely wants one of these Supras. So thank you, Stephen, for all that you're doing. Just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.